my fellow readers, it's time for my quarterly review. So these are the books that I read from April through June of 2023. And once again, there was a ton. And so for the halfway point of the year, I've already reached over 400 books, which just tells me it'll be time to slow down pretty soon. And I think I do want to do that, like take some breaks from reading in general. And I think it'll be good for my whole system and maybe allow me to craft some more and do other things. But right now, I've just been having a good time reading a lot of manga and the light novels, trying to keep them, well, as up to date as possible. I still have a whole cart of it's not a big cart, it's a mini cart of light novels that I'm trying to get through and catch up on. So it's understandable, but I think the heavier books, I'm definitely going to start to slow down on. I mean, there's for sure 2 that I do each month just for book club, so that'll stay. But I'm thinking a lot of the other ones, I'll slow down a lot and give myself more time to just do other things, and that'll be good. But yeah, so far, huge year of reading, and I'm a little bit intimidated by what I've been doing this year because I'm not going to keep it up. So now I'll just pass it over so that you can see the actual stats, the lineup of everything, and all the beautiful covers in Goodreads. So there you go. Here we are with my April through June reads. I started April with Under the Midnight Sun, or Journey Under the Midnight Sun. It's a Japanese crime novel. I don't think I loved it, if I remember correctly, but it was okay. And then this was the 257th book of the year. Again, that includes graphic novels, regular novels, light novels, all that. This was the 257th of it. And you can see that I tried to sprinkle in a lot of manga here. And yeah, I don't know, just continuing on with how I was doing. I do feel that I was super productive this last quarter with reading. Like, I got through a lot of books, and I enjoyed quite a few of them. Again, I'm still doing really well with my advanced reader copies and reviewing with NetGalley. I actually have a few right now that I need to review. I just need to buckle down and write the reviews. But in general, I've been doing really well with that and enjoying a lot of the reads that are coming up. And I hope that other people too. Hello Stranger was one that I really, really enjoyed. This is now out. But yeah, that was a great read. I enjoyed it. Also really enjoyed Yellow Face. I don't know. There was a bunch. I did get some nonfiction done in this quarter, so that was also good. I always try to sprinkle in a few nonfiction. It's never as much as the fiction, but I do try to read some and keep my reading portfolio diversified. I did enjoy The Miracles of the Namiya General Store. This was one I was thinking about for a while, and then it finally came out. Yeah, I don't know. Just in general, it was really great. This quarter got to read Spice and Wolf, or start reading it, and just had a great time. And the quarter ends here at 422 with Solito. That was my first July read, so technically the last book of that quarter was Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 19, which I still like Jujutsu Kaisen, but I'm kind of wondering where it's going to go. I was really enjoying it and really into it. And it seems like these last 2 volumes, especially I think the 19th, it got into more of this weird game situation, which in some ways is fine, but in other ways I just kind of want them to resolve the overall main plot. And I get why they do this with shonen, but it's part of the reason I don't really like shonen is because I always feel like there's too many training arcs. There's too many roundabout, let's just waste time doing whatever arcs, and I don't know. I wish they would just tell the main story. But anyway, this brings my total for this quarter of books read to 164. So, yep, this quarter I finished 164 books regardless of what they were. And you can see here like the differences with audio, print, and then there's a few digital that'll be thrown in here and there. And yeah, I don't know, I had a good time. Again, with my little reading log, this mostly tracks all the major stuff: author, the artist or narrator, publisher, pub date, start date, finish date, the number of pages or the length of the audiobook, what format it is done in, so digital, print, or audiobook, fiction or nonfiction, the form, the genre, the audience, whether it had representation by the author or the characters. Let's go on. So all different representations, whether it was a translation or not, the nation of origin, where the book came from, so whether I purchased it or it was just on my TBR, whether it was a review copy or from the library. My reason for rating, which is mostly fun, except for my book club ones, which, are also fun, but whatever. And then the rating. And just quickly, before I move on to just showing the titles through Goodreads, which I like because I'm more visual, I will jump to my charts. So I hope that this is still accurately tracking. I know once it gets to a certain part, these cells stop auto tracking certain things, and so I don't know if it does okay here or if it messes up some of these charts. I'm gonna have to find the solution to that because it drives me nuts, because I read way more than what they do them for, so I have to just find a way to adjust that, and I haven't yet. But yeah, here are my little charts. So again, I finish everything. Here's my small percentage of nonfiction. We'll see if I get a few more in before the end of the year. And then format comparison. So obviously a lot of the print is manga and graphic novels, but a few of them will be books, like The Fourth Wing I actually read. And then a lot of audiobooks. And then these are mostly the ARCs, although I have a few other digital books that I read, or ebooks. The audience for it, mostly read adult books, but there's some YA and some children's. The form, you can see a lot of comics, couple of novellas, couple of poems, and then a whole lot of prose. And then over here, my genre. Again, this never surprises me. My biggest genre is, I think, always fantasy. And then my next one's also not surprising to me. I like a lot of horror. I like romance, the general fiction, and then crime, thriller, mystery types are here. And then I throw in a few historical. Nonfiction, I do prefer like memoirs and bios, so again, that's also not surprising. This is like a typical chart of what I enjoy reading. Here we go for new books. So 28% of my books this year have been new books, and the other 71% have been backlist books. Page count, again, I think this is based on manga being one of the big ones, manga and light novels, because light novels aren't that long either. So between these two, this would be like a lot of the manga and light novels. And then these are probably, my guess is this is like the digital books, is this grouping here. And then for my source, this is actually surprising this year because the majority of the time, library is my biggest percentage. But this year I've been getting through a lot of my TBR, my physical TBR that I've had. So whether that's the light novels that I've been pushing to get through every month, or the manga that I'm trying to stay caught up with, I think that's what this is. And then 11%, almost 12% are review copies this year, which I think is pretty cool. And all the rest are library. Audiobook length, yeah, this is not surprising to me. This is the length that I usually read. Oh, this is interesting. What happened here? That April isn't charted. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back because these might be slightly skewed. April has like nothing in it. And I don't know why. There must have been a glitch in the charting system. and June. Yeah, April and June have an issue. That's good to see, I guess, because yeah, something is wrong there. You can see it's still tracking July, so yeah, something just went wrong there. And I'm not even sure if May's is accurate, so I'll have to go back. My star ratings, again, I hardly, if ever, dislike a book, so few here, more here. Yeah, I just like seeing how this is doing. I do read more female authors than male authors. You can see my red countries represented here. It's a good chunk from the US and a great chunk from Japan. Then there's some Korea and Australia, UK. UK has a healthy slice. Canada. Again, my POC authors versus white authors. That's pretty healthy, and I think this is, of course, slightly skewed from the manga, light novels, and whatever that I read, but yeah, that's cool. I also like that chart. Keep it about equal. That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm doing pretty good so far this year. There you go. And just to go over, I have now completed, oh, yeah, something didn't chart here, but it was originally. I've now completed the Read Harder challenge, but I just saw that this is missing. These were here, though. So something weird has happened. That I'm going to have to look into, because I do not know what's happening there. Like, you can definitely see this glitch here where it stops auto-generating the days it takes to read or the time spent reading. And that happened sometime in April, but I would have already been done, I'm pretty sure, with the challenge. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and see every number and then see what happened to it. But anyway, I've completed all of my reading challenges. So other than trying to see what happened here, we're doing all right. So there you go. Let's head out to Goodreads, because I'd rather look at that stuff. Okay, so here we are in Goodreads, and we're starting right here with Journey Under the Midnight Sun. Again, I've seen this listed other places under the Midnight Sun, so I'm not sure what's going on with this title. But, you know, whatever. This is the one I did. And then we're just gonna slowly go through, and if I see any covers that stick out, I'll stop and talk about them. But, yeah, I don't know. In general, everything was pretty satisfying for what I've read so far. Like, I didn't dislike anything greatly. Oh, this one. The Measure. I would highly recommend. This actually, I don't know. I would say maybe read with caution, depending, because I did have almost not so, like, I loved the book, but my mental response to it was a little dark, but it's good. It's good. I did actually really love that book. Some of my favorites I just see here. I loved The Measure. I loved Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. I actually loved Yellowface. I thought that was really good with really unlikable characters, but I love the questions that it brought up. Looking Glass Sound, which I think is still not out yet. I think this is beginning of August, if I'm not mistaken. Really, really good. So when this one's released, check that out. Sugar Apple Fairy Tale I've talked about. Yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of good stuff. Lonely Castle in the Mirror, which I like the cover I have better, but this, you know, I've talked about this book because it's really good. I always say if I'm going through here and anything looks good to you, check it out, because I probably liked it. I don't want to say I didn't like this one, but it also wasn't my favorite. It's a little bit weird. Love the new Lisa Jewell. None of This Is True. This will be out soon as well. Highly recommend that book. It's very, very good. The Last Tale of the Flower Bride was also very good. Yeah, I don't know. This was pretty successful. It seems to go by so fast when doing it this way, but also I feel like these last couple of months have flown by. And it's just surprising. I really liked I'm Not Done With You Yet, which is still not released. I think this is an August released as well. I think it's like the 22nd of August this will be out. I got to finish this series, the Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World. That was really good and sweet, and it's a short one, so if you're looking for a short isekai story that's very cozy, that's a good one. A lot of great stuff. And then we wrap it up right here. That was it. That's it for my quarterly review. So again, you can see I've completed 421 books this year. My target goal to read this year was 90 books. I am appreciating this while I can do it, but I know that it's gonna reach the point where I can't, and that's okay. And also, I'm gonna hit a point this year where I don't want to do it. I would rather work on like crafts and other stuff. So I'm preparing for that as well, because I don't want to get complete burnout, but I feel that way sometimes where it's like, what am I doing this for? So anyway, there you have my quarterly books, and I'll go back to Live Me to wrap it up. So that is the many, many books that I've read this year, and in particular this quarter. So I don't know. I don't know how next quarter will be. We'll see. I mean, July's been pretty busy with reading as well, because I'm really trying to get caught up on a lot of manga series and finish a lot. There's quite a few that have ended or are ending soon, so I've been doing a lot of playing catch up, and I think that's good. And then I think I'll take a break more towards the end of the year when I'm busier with crafting and stuff for the holidays. So far so good. I'm having a really great year. There's a lot of great books, and I'm going to keep just reviewing the ones that I really enjoy, and I hope you find some that you would like to read too. That's it for this video. Until next time, bye.